What is up, fellow bench warmers? It's a Sunday, and welcome to your daily Fantasy Quickie. Hey guys, happy Sunday to everyone. Hope you are enjoying your weekend. And for those who are not in the Philippines and maybe you are watching this on a Saturday, so happy weekend to you. Kamish, how are you? Big news today, big development or big problem for fantasy managers.
Big problem for Laker fans like us,
Yes, that's
or
one.
for fantasy managers who are Laker fans and own LeBron James also.
That's a much bigger problem for fantasy managers as
And
well.
what happened today is a very, very good example of how we cannot really predict
Yeah,
what will happen in fantasy. Like LeBron has been very, very durable, and we have been saying that we recommend LeBron because we think he's gonna play every game, most of the games. He doesn't want to rest. He's been durable his whole career.
yeah,
But then a freak injury is a freak injury. It can happen to anyone.
yep. And well, interestingly, lots of Laker players are crying foul on what happened, and they are blaming Solomon Hill for intentionally diving for the wall or diving to get LeBron hurt. But I think that's nonsense. I don't think in a basketball, I'm not sure. I don't play professionally, and I don't even play competitively. But I
It's
think when
it's a reckless move.
yeah, it's a reckless. It could be a reckless move, but I'm not sure if it's during that moment. You think about those things like I'll just jump right in just to get this player injured. I don't. I play sports, not professionally, but before I played competitive frisbee, and these things you don't really think about in terms of getting your other players injured. I think it was reckless maybe, but
I don't think it was
I don't think it was intentional.
not intentional, but they're correct. It's a reckless move, and sometimes in basketball, it's not about the intention. They're correct that it should have been more than a foul because the result was really bad. I don't think it's in the level of the Zasha Pachulia to Kawhi Leonard thing. I think that one is more.
That's closer to intentional. That can be perceived or
Yeah.
judged as intentional. Of course, the intention we really don't know, but the one that happened this morning or today, I don't think it was just a reckless move and a freak accident as well. For freak injury for the king. So let's talk about players now who will benefit here, or at least players you can scoop for this time for the injury. There's no news on when LeBron would be back. No timetable.
No, there's no timetable still out indefinitely. So
Yeah.
so that's good, and that can be good or bad. But in my opinion, the way I saw he actually played.
Yeah, he made.
Still
I think
played.
he made another shot before going out.
LeBron just wants to be Kobe, but Kobe.
Are you taking that against LeBron?
Yes, you know why? Because he just wants to have the moment. But Kobe tore his Achilles and made free throw shots. It's different from a sprained ankle. But anyways,
For those who are watching, Kamish Eric is a big Kobe fan, and he doesn't want any crown being taken away from the great Kobe Bryant, of course.
but LeBron ability to play, I think this will be a 3-week, in my opinion, a 3 to 4 week thing, more than a 6-week thing. He's gonna come back before the playoffs. That's for sure. He's gonna make sure he's gonna come back before the playoffs. There's only 9 weeks left before the playoffs starts, and 8 weeks left until the regular season and fantasy season ends. So I'm thinking 4 weeks is probably the time when he will come back. So that's really bad for owners of LeBron if you have fantasy playoffs from week 15 to 17, then you might not have him at all until the end of the season. So that's something to monitor also.
And I think another impact this could have is on Anthony Davis. There could be a possibility that Anthony Davis returns earlier than what he would want, or what many people would be expecting. Because if the Lakers would continue to lose without their two star players, I think they will have more sense of urgency of bringing back Anthony Davis.
That's true, and that will depend on how the team performs in the next few games. If they can bank on maybe 2 to 3 wins, like what Philadelphia is doing right now, by the way, like what Philadelphia is doing right now.
Yeah.
If they can do that, maybe Anthony Davis won't be forced to come back as early.
Yeah, but the difference between the Lakers and Philadelphia is that the Philadelphia 76ers are a deeper team in terms of the talent level. Well, nothing against the Lakers players, but they still have Ben Simmons, they still have Tobias Harris, who is probably, top 50, 60 in the NBA. And without LeBron and Anthony Davis, the Lakers' best player would probably be Montrezl Harrell
and Dennis Schroeder. So, and those players, not to say anything against them, but they are not yet at the level of Tobias or Ben Simmons. That's true. But the point is, the next few games will be important to see what will happen. But remember, the Lakers have the sixth toughest schedule remaining. So it's not out of the question to see Anthony Davis come back end of March instead of April. Yep. He has an evaluation coming up, I think next week. So if that is relatively good, he might force himself to play a couple of games earlier or a week earlier, and maybe just have minutes restricted.
All right. And I think one more thing about this before we move on to our big risers is that this would also. So do you right now have to drop or make any moves about LeBron?
The thing is, if your league starts playoffs week 15 to 17, then that's the only time I would consider that. But even if your league starts week 15 to 17, I'll wait for at least a week because I want to see what is the prognosis. Because sometimes, what if after a week they say, hey, he's healing faster than expected?
Yeah.
Like Ja Morant, I think, had a very bad ankle injury, came back in 2 to 3 weeks, right?
Yep.
So LeBron is like Ja, is like Trae Young. Trae Young also had a very bad ankle injury last year, and then he just came back. I think he didn't even miss 2 games.
Yeah, he probably missed a week or so.
Yeah, I'm not saying that will happen to LeBron, but if it can happen to anyone, LeBron's probably the guy I'll bet on it will happen. So you have to wait for a week or so and see if they put out more information. So dropping him right now is a no-no. Don't drop him.
We will talk about who to pick up in this with this development, but it will also be interesting to see any Lakers move from now until the trade deadline. Because of this injury, they might make some moves, or they might jumpstart or advance their timeline in terms of getting other players. All right, so big risers for today. John Collins. Let's talk about John Collins first. We've talked about John Collins yesterday, how efficient he can be, and how it seems like he is getting real comfortable with the new coach, Nate McMillan, and they are now 8-0.
They're 8-0. John Collins played 32 minutes. Capella played 16 minutes. And that's it. I think there was a foul trouble or whatever. But or the Hawks were playing well also. But I think he's getting more and more minutes.
Yeah.
I see him probably 32, 33. That might be the number of minutes he can end up playing. And that's good. And remember, we talked about efficiency yesterday.
Yep. Today, he shot, I think, 73% from the field.
Yes. And the only thing I said, I said there that I don't think the efficiency will lower, but I think the blocks can come back. He has been blocking 3 shots a game for the past few games. The blocks is starting to come back, and if that becomes consistent, he can go higher than 30. He can go 20s. He can go in the teens. If he really averages more than a block, it becomes 2 blocks.
Yeah.
Then
So it seems like, so let's, if you are a John Collins owner, I'm sure you're happy with the recent performance. So the only thing we hope is that he maintains this, and it's these games are not flukes, and Nate McMillan is really highlighting him as the player, one of the important piece in their team. All right, so that's John Collins. Other big risers are from the Milwaukee Bucks. Drew Holiday, who came from COVID, and just like everyone else who came from COVID, he didn't come back as fast or as good when he was before the COVID thing. Now he has slowly picked it up.
Like Jason Tatum, it took a while. And there's an article, by the way, about the effect of COVID on some NBA players who have symptoms. And those players, they interviewed them. I think Drew is one of them.
Yeah.
There's still respiratory symptoms these players are experiencing right now. So let us not just say, oh, it's coming back after 2 weeks from COVID and it's going to be the same player. That's why I'm very worried about Fred VanVleet. I said, let's wait for Fred VanVleet to come back and see how he performs. Will he be like Drew and Tatum? That will take time. Now, going back to Drew Holiday, I think he's starting to really ramp up his conditioning, ramp up his game, and I think he can. I don't think he's gonna go back to top 12. I don't think that will happen anymore. But
top 20 safe.
I don't think top 20, maybe top 30 will be safe.
That's good enough, I guess, for a Drew Holiday who's probably picked around 3rd or 4th round.
But right now, his value is low. It's very low. I think you can have him. You can get him. If you need a point guard right now, Drew can be a good target for you.
Yeah.
For in trades.
And he also played 34 minutes today, which is a lot of minutes as well for a Milwaukee Bucks player. Another Milwaukee Bucks player is Dante DiVincenzo, who played 30 minutes, had a double-double today. And like we said, he hasn't been as consistent as he was last year.
But the past 5 games, he's averaged 10 rebounds. He's averaged 2-point-something steals. The steals, the rebounds, the 3-pointers have been unbelievable for this guy. And he's gotten more minutes. And I hope the Bucks don't get another point guard or another guard. But I think they will.
Are there rumors that they're getting another guard?
They're looking for. They have multiple open roster spots.
Yeah, because they traded away DJ Augustine.
And they don't have a backup point guard, guys. There's no, unless you consider Bryn Forbes a backup point guard.
Or Drew, maybe.
Well, Drew is a starting point guard, right? So.
Yeah.
That's why Dante DiVincenzo. That's why when the trade happened, I said, "Hey, this guy can be the backup point and will be the backup point guard, and he will get a lot of more ball handling opportunities, and his assists have been improving also." So 5th round value the past few games,
which is probably a little high, but I think he can settle at around 70 or 70, top 70 or top 80, like he did last year. Considering that last year he had a more limited role.
Yes.
This year he has a lot more roles or responsibilities with the team. All right.
Isaiah Thomas, and that's the guy being rumored, Isaiah Thomas,
to join the Bucks
or the Lakers. So that both teams. Right now, I'm the Lakers. I'm gonna sign this guy. They need some
scoring actually.
Yeah.
I think the good thing about the Lakers is that their defense is probably top notch and they can bank on that, but we'll see. All right, those are the big risers for today. The next one is our worrying players, so players we worry about because of their recent performances, particularly today. And the biggest name here is Ja Morant. Morant, I've been seeing a lot of Ja Morant trades or trade offers going around, and many managers are really not happy with Ja's performance. And some of the offers are really, really low offers for a player like Ja Morant.
Ja is averaging less than 15 points the past few games. The worrying thing for me is not the points. The assists not been that high. He's averaging less than a 3-pointer and less than a steal a game. So if this is what he's gonna average, he's basically like a better Kobe White. I mean that's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
So should you trade? Yes, you should trade. But should you trade now? No, because we know that Ja Morant will have games where he will explode like the Aaron Fox. The Aaron Fox is very hot right now. When Ja Morant explodes, then that's the time to trade. For me, if don't use your emotions right now. Just stay with him. Wait for the right time. When Ja Morant exploded a couple of weeks back, I would have traded Ja for Jrue Holiday. That was what I would have done at that time. And I think you suggested that. But if that didn't happen, then right now you have to wait for another explosion.
And it could happen. And the problem here with the Memphis is that like today they won, so
yes, and
they really didn't. Yeah, they are very deep lineup, especially on the guard spot. They have Bane, they have Allen, they have.
And that's without Jaren Jackson.
Still
without Jaren Jackson. So I mean, imagine if Jaren Jackson comes back. I mean, the more the rotation will be topsy-turvy, messy.
Yeah, today D'Anthony Melton did not perform,
but don't drop him. I'm still.
Yeah, that was supposed to be my next question. Should you move on now from D'Anthony Melton, because he's been hot, cold in the past? Well, that's been the trend with D'Anthony Melton.
Who do you think is ranked higher, Melton or Morant?
Melton. I think Melton is
Melton.
A little outside the 100.
Right now he's 98, 99.
Right. Actually, he got into the 100, right? And Ja Morant, I think he's within 150.
Yeah, he is within 150. But if he continues this, he won't be.
Yeah. So there, Ja Morant, one of the players we are worried about. Gordon Hayward is another player. Well, he hasn't been as hot as before. But how bad is it?
It's bad. He's not taking as much attempts. There was one video showing him driving, and then I think it was I don't know if it's Cody Zeller or Bismack Biyombo, like screening the big man who's gonna help. So he got an open lane for the layup, and at the last minute he just dropped it off to the center, and the ball was stolen. And I think that is the summary of what's the problem with Gordon Hayward. He's not been that aggressive, and he's not. I don't know if it's because of his shooting percentage; it's been very low. Yeah. But if he's not gonna take 20 attempts a game, and he's gonna take 13 attempts a game, and he's shooting 40%, that would just be 4, at most 5 made shots. So that's why he's averaging less than 12 points a game lately. So it's bad. But I think he should turn it around. Terry Rozier, by the way, left the game today with
I was just about to say. So he left. It's not that he left the game; it was a blowout, and he just didn't return. He had a hip injury, I think.
Yeah.
So that's something to monitor as well for the Terry Rozier owners, especially if he's the guy you are relying on for scoring or the 3-pointers, because he's been hot over the past few games, except today, of course.
But Hayward should benefit from this if there's anything that will happen.
Yeah, and just one of our favorite players, PJ Washington,
also got injured
today again.
Yeah, sprained ankle in the first quarter. He came back, he still played, but we'll have to monitor that if that ankle swells.
Because he's been playing better over the past few games.
Yes, but this is, unfortunate event because Cody Zeller is out. So it should be beneficial to him. So if he's also going to be out, then it's Miles Bridges. It's probably going to...
It's probably gonna benefit or play more or get more of the stats. All right, so the last of our worrying players is Kevin Huerter. Again, this is a deep Atlanta team, so we are not sure how Kevin Werther fits in. And I think a couple of episodes or a couple of quickies ago, we talked about the hierarchy in these Atlanta Hawks players.
But at that time, Bogdan Bogdanovic was struggling.
Yeah.
He had a great game the other day. Today was a little okay, decent. And if he continues to play a little better, I'm not sure that Werther will continue to start. Because DeAndre Hunter is going to return soon. And if Bogdan continues to get hot, then both of them will probably be the starters, in my opinion. And Werther will go back to the bench. So that is something to watch out for.
Yeah,
if he goes back to the bench, I don't know if it's going to be...
And Gallinari has also been playing well. So that takes some shots out of Werther's end. So again, I think... Do you think he's a drop? No, not yet.
Not now, but you have to be prepared. If you own him, don't drop him now, but you have to be prepared in your mind that I might have to drop this guy soon.
Yeah. So you have to be on the lookout already for the next hot free agent in your waiver wire. So when the time comes, even if when the time comes that there's a hot free agent out there that's that you can add, you can scoop him up already and replace Werther.
Yes.
All right. Waiver wire specials. Okay, let's talk about the Lakers. We didn't talk about who the beneficiaries would be, but is there any player who you should add from the Lakers who would probably get LeBron's minutes?
For beneficiaries, Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell and Kuzma, these three should be big risers also.
Yeah,
definitely. These three will be the key. Now, if we talk about adding, it's Talen Horton-Tucker for me over anybody else. They'll need him. They'll really need him a lot. I've added him, and I think he can go to 25 to 30 minutes with LeBron out. That's what I believe, but I have to see. So I think tomorrow they have a game, so
yeah, they have a back-to-back.
I have to see how the rotation shakes out, but I think Talen Horton-Tucker will get more responsibility, and it's my primary ad over Markieff Morris. You missed out on Talen.
And remember, Talen Horton-Tucker was a hot pick early in the season after what he did in the preseason games.
Yes.
So this might be the chance that he will get, or the opportunity that he will have to showcase what he can do.
Talen's sanity will come to the Lakers. Talen's sanity.
So let's see. Tomorrow would be a great gauge.
Yeah, tomorrow will be a great gauge. He's gonna come off the bench. He's definitely gonna come off the bench. He's not gonna start.
Yeah. Another team who has a bunch of waiver wire players, or not exactly waiver wire players, but players who maybe is still out there in your waiver wires, is the Philadelphia 76ers. Shake Milton, as we said, I think yesterday or the other day, played well or played okay. I think he did score, but not much on the other stats.
He scored 28 points and I think had a couple of assists also.
Yeah.
So he was okay. And the thing is, Ben Simmons didn't play today.
Yep.
He has a sore knee. So I'm not sure if he's gonna play tomorrow because I think Philadelphia won without him today. So he doesn't have to play since they have a couple of wins already. But among the Philadelphia players, there's some value that's opening up. Danny Green, I posted it again. I think he should be an ad even in 12-team leagues. For the short term, he should be an ad. Danny Green and Shake Milton, these two should be added as long as Curry's out. Even if Ben Simmons comes back, I think these two can be added.
And of course, the two centers today played really well. Tony Bradley and Dwight Howard, both. Tybal for defensive. If you need the defensive stats, although today Tybal had 8 points and 7 rebounds, which is nice. And the defensive stats were not as nice. Just 1-1, but we'll give him a pass.
For our international viewers, if you don't know Jeremy, his standards are very high. Super high.
Because he should be an elite defensive player.
Yeah, I know.
And 1 steal and 1 block. If you'll probably get him for a couple of steals and maybe a couple of blocks, but 1 steal and 1 block won't cut it for well, at least for me, uh, if you got him for those stats set.
But keep him for a while. If you got him already, you streamed him, keep him for a while. Just we're not sure about Ben Simmons' injury and all those things. So just don't drop right away.
Yep. All right. Other players, Jordan Poole, we talked about yesterday, should be added as well.
And Steve Kerr already said he's going to be part of the rotation, even with Curry coming back. He has earned his spot already.
He's been scoring really well.
Yes. He might have rest of the season value for the Warriors.
And of course, another player is Juan Toscano Anderson of the Golden State Warriors.
Similar to that guy who was similar to PJ Washington. Draymond also had an ankle issue.
Man, these injuries
But
killing
he played. Like PJ, they played. So it should be good. But we just have to see if it swells overnight.
Yeah, well, PJ Washington's case, this is not the first time he injured his ankle. So I'm not sure if it's the same ankle, but he recently also had an injury, right?
And Dre also.
And Dre.
So that's something to monitor. That's why.
So they might be cautious with getting these players to play. All right, those are our big risers, worry players, and the waiver wire specials. Let's do one trade analysis for today. Let's pick from the list. What's a good one here? How about this? Jarrett Allen. Okay, let's do a Ja Morant thing. Let's do a Ja Morant one. Since we talked about Ja Morant. Donovan Mitchell plus Chris Boucher for Ja Morant and LaMelo Ball.
Nah, I'll go with Donovan Mitchell there and Boucher.
Easy?
As much as I love LaMelo, unless it is a dynasty league, first of all, you get all the upside in the other side. Boucher, as we said, top 25 player this year in limited minutes. And Donovan Mitchell, as durable as they come. And he's way better than Ja Morant right now. So I'll go with that side.
All right, that was an easy one. We have a couple of trades here in the list for trade analysis of the day, but we'll do it on our weekly episode with Aaron Black to be released tomorrow. Midday tomorrow. So watch out for that. All right. So that's it for our daily fantasy quickie on a Sunday. It's a short, it's a quick quickie, and hope you enjoy it and hope everyone enjoys their Sunday and their weekend. All right. Happy Sunday, guys. Bye.
Bye.